So Dave and I dated, and then we realized we came to a point in our relationship where it was like, well, either we break up or you move or I move.
Well, we were living very far apart. I'm living in Nashville. You're living in LA.
Yeah.
And we're both on tour. I'll just tell it from my perspective. I'm on tour with Remedy Drive. I end up going to this festival in Great Falls, Montana called Downpour, to which I'm very thankful for now. And I just remember just a festival day like any other day. It was on this baseball field. I'm going about my business. We're like loading in and setting up stuff, and I'm setting up the merch table with a bandmate of mine, and I look over and there's this cute girl setting up her merch table across the way. So of course I'd immediately, without hesitation, do all I can to talk to her, which I think at first maybe annoyed her a little bit.
Yes, a little bit.
Did it annoy you a little bit?
Well, it was just like I said earlier, I was kind of in this season of no dating and it wasn't even just no dating, it was like no guys, like just, it was like, I don't want anything to do with the male species, no. But at the time of my life, I really was really hardened to like wanting guys around, and I was just very independent and very focused on what I was doing in my career. And so he was just another guy and started flirting with me at the merch. Flirting with me at the merch table, and I remember he was making fun of me because I was hanging up these hangers, but I didn't have any way to hang them up, so I was trying to like duct tape them to this tarp, and they just kept falling down, and like an hour later he came back and I was still trying to get these stupid things up there. So we had a funny laugh about that. But
And then the next time, I mean, this is the situation where we're at this festival. It's the beginning of the day, and you see the same bands all day. Like the bands that are at that festival are just around each other all day. That's how they work. So we meet early on at the merch place, and I'm like, oh sweet, I have like a day to get to talk to this girl. So we ended up playing. Remedy Drive played our set, and it was outside, so it was really hot, of course. So in hindsight, this was probably kind of gruesome, but she's like getting ready to go on because they were right after us, and this sweaty guitar player is trying to talk to. I was trying to talk to you while you were needing to get on stage and like sound check or whatever. So we're kind of passing each other as we're playing, and me just trying as hard as I can to get something from you.
I remember you had your guitar still on you. Like he still had his guitar from playing. He walks off the stage with it. I pass him. I pass him, and we kind of it was weird, kind of awkward, like an acknowledgement, like, oh hey, yeah. So I go on, and I'm starting to check, my mic and everything, and then he's like, hey, and he like calls me to the back of the stage. So like I'm on the stage and I'm looking down at him on the ground he still has his guitar. And there's these two other girls like trying to talk to him at the same time, like on the ground. Like they were like, oh, Dave. And he was just like, I didn't know you were, I don't know. He said something about the set and good luck. Like it's really hot and, the sound's being a little weird or whatever. And so, yeah, at the time, I was like, what is it? Like, why is he trying to talk to me while I'm trying to check? But at the same time, I think inside I was like, this is really cute. He's really trying to make an effort to talk to me while I was on stage. So after we played, we had like a bunch of downtime. This girl that worked at the field, the baseball field, was like, hey, do you want to go to the batting cages? And she just asked like the question to the bands in general, not to like anyone specifically. And I've always been like with press play the only girl. Like it was me and like 8 dudes pretty much, right? And so I didn't want to go to the batting cages by myself with Remedy Drive because I didn't know any of these guys, and Dave had been kind of flirting with me all day. And so I got Jonathan, my buddy Jonathan, to go with me. We went to the batting cages, and I did really good. I hit almost every ball.
She did way better than I did. I was not good. I'm not good at batting cages. You were much better than me, I'll admit it.
And it's funny because Remedy Drive used to do these things called, what was it, New Video Mondays or something? Where we're in the batting cages and Dave's talking to me, and like, I think it was Timmy or Corey or someone is yelling at him like, Dave Moore!
Dave Moore! Dave Moore!
Dave Moore! Like, trying to get his attention, and we're just, like, so involved in our conversation that he didn't realize it until, like, you know, a few minutes later or whatever. But
the day at this festival is ending, and I have not gotten her phone number at this point. And I don't know that I didn't really think ahead very well. I failed, I think. So their band leaves, and I'm like, shoot, I don't have a way to contact her. And the worst thought ever crosses my mind. I'm going to have to do that thing where you find her on Facebook and send her a creepy Facebook message saying, hey, had a great time with you at Downpour Festival. What's your phone number? It's not a recipe for success. So I'm kind of bummed. I'm on my like ancient phone at that time, trying to search Facebook on the terrible browser, having no luck. And but I realized that we go back to the hotel, and we realized that we're at the same hotel.
At this point, I wanted to talk to him more. So I told John, like, let's make Press Play hang out in the lobby in case Remedy Drive decides to hang out in the lobby.
So we see each other. I put my Facebook app away, thankfully.
And so we all ended up hanging out in the lobby together. And it was weird because my brother was there because his band played the same festival. So Dave met my brother, which was really weird.
I had to do this under older brother duress.
Yeah.
That's true.
So anyways, we all ended up hanging out in the lobby together.
And it was a great time, but once again, my time is running out. It's getting late. Our bands have had a good time hanging out with each other. We've had tons of good conversation. I know that it's going well, but I don't know how to do it as far as getting her phone number because we're around a bunch of people. So I do the boldest phone number ask in the history of mankind. In front of everyone, I take my BlackBerry, which is a little sad, open it to the contacts page, and slide it across the table to her. My heart has stopped beating because I'm in danger of the biggest public shootdown ever. I mean, she could have thrown that BlackBerry out the window if she wanted.
And I was like standing up because I was about to go to bed. So I was standing up and everyone else was sitting down. And he goes, and it was like literally all eyes in the room. There was probably 15 people there because it was both of our bands and the tech and everyone. Everyone's eyes just go straight towards me, just like whoosh. It was like a movie. And I was like, okay. So I picked it up and I had no choice, no. But I put my number in and then I was like, okay, good night. And I just giggled and ran away to my room and hoped that he would text me, But that was it.
So you were merciful and I was successful. We texted for a long time, about 8 months before we saw each other again. Remedy Drive was touring in the California area. Again, we're super long distance. I'm living in Nashville. She's living in LA. But Remedy Drive was doing a West Coast tour, so you came out to a show. Again, high pressure. The first time we've seen each other in 8 months. But it went really well, and we started talking more seriously at that point. And I had to make a couple week-long trips. When you're dating in that kind of distance, there's no really room to be casual, I suppose.
Yeah, you have to get straight to the point.
Yeah, otherwise
do you want to be with me or do you not?
Or it's not worth it. So I would fly out to LA, stay with you and your family, which is also if it doesn't go well, you're stuck for, if I got my return ticket already, I can't buy another one, But again, it went really well and your family was so welcoming. So welcoming, in fact, that you all moved to Nashville eventually.
Yeah, so Dave and I dated, and then we realized we came to a point in our relationship where it was well, either we break up, or you move, or I move. And so we talked about him moving to California, not really digging it. So I ended up moving to Nashville, and my family ended up moving too. And then I think 6 months after I was here, we got engaged. And then 6 months later, we got married.